Good morning, all. We are going to study our new topic of Dbms, that is PLSQL. Now, what is PLSQL? It is a procedural language extension to the SQL. SQL means structure query language. SQL is based on structure and it is a single line query. It is a structure query language. But PLSQL is a procedural language. It follow complete procedure like C programming, C++ programming. As I said, PLSQL stands for procedural language and it is extension to the SQL, that is structure query language. It is a superset of SQL, a block of structure language for that enable developers to combine the power of SQL with procedural statement is called as PLSQL. A block of structure language for that enable developer to combine both, that is first one is SQL with procedural statement is called as PLSQL. Procedural statement means control structure, functions, cursor, store procedure, trigger, assertion and many more. These are some features of PLSQL. Although SQL is a powerful tool, it suffers from various inherent disadvantages when used as a programming language. PLSQL provides certain data types, control structure, procedure, function, exception and triggers. Let's see some advantages of PLSQL. PLSQL not only support SQL data manipulation but also provide facility of conditional checking and branching and looping. It provide conditional checking, branching and looping. Second advantage is PLSQL sends an entire block of statement to the Oracle engine at one time. This in turn reduces network traffic. The Oracle engine gets the SQL statement as a single block and hence it processes this code much faster than if it got the code one sentence at a time. That is, it is faster and it reduces the network traffic. Applications written in PLSQL are portable to any computer hardware and operating system where Oracle is present. Next one is PLSQL handle errors or exception effectively during the execution of a PLSQL program. Once an exception is caught, specific action can be taken depending upon the type of exception, or it can be displayed to the user with a simple message. That is, it handles errors or exception effectively during execution of program. Next one, PLSQL block can be stored in the database and reused. There is no need to write code again and again. PLSQL block can be reused. Next, the most important features like trigger, cursor, lock, etc. have made PLSQL a very versatile language. As I said, the most important features involved in PLSQL: control structure, if, for, like this, functions, cursor, store procedure, triggers, logs, etc. have made PLSQL a very versatile language. The main difference between SQL and PLSQL is, in SQL, at a time only one query is executed. In SQL, at a time only one query is executed, but in PLSQL, more than one statement or query is executed at a time. Next difference is SQL, it does not support control structures. That is for loop, if else, while loop, like this. It does not support control structure, but in PLSQL it support control structure, conditional statement, it like this. main two difference between SQL and SQL. What I say? SQL, at a time only one query is executed. That is select star from table name. Single statement. But in PLSQL, more than one statement or query is executed at a time. SQL does not support control structure, but PLSQL support control structure. The main feature of PLSQL, it supports control structure, function, cursor, store procedure, trigger, assertion, and many more. Let us see PLSQL block structure. Each PLSQL program consists of SQL and PLSQL statement which form a PLSQL block. Here PLSQL block consists of three sections. First one is declaration section, second one is execution section, and third one is exception section. As I said, it consists of three sections as given in figure. Declare section consists of declaration of memory variable, constant, cursor, etc. in PLSQL. Second, begin SQL executable statement, that is our main body. Third one, exception, SQL or PLSQL code to handle error that may arise of code. Error handling part, exception block. Last one is end with semicolon and slash. Here the PLSQL block structure. First part is declaration of variable, cursor, procedure, function, trigger, assertion, etc. This comes under declaration part. Next part, begin, that is our SQL statement, control structure, etc. Main body, begin. It involves DDL statement, DCL, TCL, DML. These are used in begin part. Last one is exception, that is error handling part. Exception handling statements used in this exceptional block. And last one is end and semicolon. We will see this block in detail. First, declaration section. The declaration section of PLSQL block starts with the keyword declare. This section is optional and is used to declare and initialize variable, constraint, records, and to manipulate data in the execution section. These are all about declaration section. Optional. Second one is execution section. Execution section of a PLSQL block start with the keyword begin and end with the keyword end. This is mandatory section and is the section where the program logic is written to perform any task. The programmatic construct like loops, conditional statement, and SQL statement are written here. That is important or main body of PLSQL block execute here. That is execution section, and it start with begin word and end with end keyword, and it is a mandatory section. All program logic is written to perform any task. The programmatic construct like loops, conditional statement, for loop, while loop, if else, if then, nested if, and SQL statement are written here. That is all about execution part of PLSQL block. Now last one is exception section. The exception section of PLSQL block start with the keyword exception. This section is optional. Any error in the program can be handled so that the PLSQL block terminate properly. If the PLSQL block contains exceptions that cannot be handled, the block terminates abruptly with errors. Every statement in the above three section must end with the semicolon. PLSQL block can be nested within other PLSQL block. Comment can be used to document code. These are all about PLSQL block. In simple word, it consists of three main parts. First one is declaration, second one is execution, third one is exception. Declaration and exception are optional one, but the execution section is mandatory. All the execution like conditional statement, loops, SQL statement are executed in executable section, and it start with keyword begin and end with keyword end. Clear? Now next, PLSQL execution environment. PLSQL code in Dbms environment is executed with the help of Oracle engine. This component of Oracle accepts PLSQL block as input and execute it to provide result. The PLSQL engine resides inside the Oracle engine, which actually executes the PLSQL code. The Oracle engine can process not only a single SQL statement but also entire PLSQL block of code. The PLSQL code is sent to the PLSQL engine directly. The SQL statements are sent to the SQL statement executor in the Oracle engine. Thus, it is better to bundle SQL code within a PLSQL block. The declaration and the part under the begin section are executed by the PLSQL engine. The data and code are sent and received by this engine. SQL statement executor execute both executable statement written in the begin part and the exception below the executable statement of the begin. Figure shows the whole idea about PLSQL execution environment. Here PLSQL block of code, and right side of this SQL engine. It consists of PLSQL engine and SQL statement executor. These are the two main parts in SQL engine. In PLSQL block, it consists of three parts. As I said, declare, begin and exception. Declare section, declaration of variables, cursors, procedure, function, trigger, etc. Begin, that is our main body. Procedure statement, SQL statement, DDL, DML, DCL, TCL, like this. An exception, error handling part, that is our exceptional handling statement, SQL statement. These are all about PLSQL execution environment. PLSQL variables must be less than 31 characters. The variable name must be begin with an ASCII letter, and it can be either lowercase or uppercase. The PLSQL is a case insensitive, which means capital V is equal to small v. It refers the same variable name. Let's move to next point, that is PLSQL data types. The PLSQL variable, constant and parameter must have a valid data type which specifies a storage format, constraint and valid range of values. The PLSQL data types and subtypes come under the following categories. These are, the left hand side is data type and right hand side is description of that particular data type. First one is numeric value on which arithmetic operation are performed. The next one is character data type, and it is the alphanumeric value that represents single character or string of characters. Third data type is Boolean, logical values on which logical operations are perform. That is all about data type of Boolean. Next one is date time. It shows date and time. These are the four main data types in PLSQL. First one is numeric. It involves numeric value on which arithmetic operation are performed. Numeric means numeric value. Characters, that is alphanumeric value. Boolean, logical value, and date and time. It shows date and time. These are all about PLSQL data type. Thank you.